Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with Disabled Vets Perspective, and yes, it is late. It's approximately in the Central Coast here, 12:30 in the a.m. Do you know where your votes are at this time of night? Well, apparently they might be in the shredder or in the garbage or in the I don't know, in the ditch. Could be in somebody's desk. I don't know. But anyway, this is an experiment to see if I'm actually able to go live at this time of night because my whole system has been jammed up. My cell phone signal's been scrambled. My computer hasn't been able to get a signal out. And with the exception of looking like I'm in the witness protection program still, I think I'm getting a little signal out, although it shows me buffering just constantly over here on DLive. But I don't know. Silly as a wannabe, how you doing? I guess in Montana it's still not quite the witching hour, but getting close. I think you're on the. I don't think you're in Mountain Time. I think you're in the Pacific Coast. If my U.S. map serves me correctly. Let's see. I'm trying to get this. Get my. What do you call it? Facebook to crank up, but I don't know if it's going to work or not. Anyway, this is sort of an impromptu live stream because, like I said, I don't know if I'm getting out or was able to get out. It was just pretty hectic trying to get a signal out because of everything being jammed up. I can't even tell if I'm live on Facebook or not. It says this video is live, but it doesn't show anything. But anyway, I wanted to get on here. I see and hear you just fine. All right, Mountain Time. Okay, cool. That's a good thing. But I wanted to get on here, and I actually tried to do a download video and sat here and talked to the camera and twiddled my thumbs and did all that kind of stuff for 30 whole minutes, and it was beautiful. It was a one-take wonder that would make it into Hollywood. And then I went for the playback, and there wasn't a lick of audio. I had my microphone was unplugged. Oh, stop it. Anyway, it was ridiculous. So I wanted to come on here, and I wanted to get my little change purse open and throw my 2 cents in on the situation with General Flynn being pardoned. And I want to talk about a couple other things too, but it's the main thing is about General Flynn. Yeah, I laughed too. Well, no, I didn't. I was really frustrated, but anyway, you may know that General Flynn was pardoned today or yesterday because it's obviously 12:30. So I have mixed feelings about it, and I want to explain both sides of my feelings. The first thing is my disappointment with him being pardoned. Before you panic, it's not that I wish he would have been continued to be prosecuted. It's that my concern is now that he is pardoned, it gives fodder to the Democrat liberal propaganda mainstream talking heads and allows them to say, see, he was guilty, and the only reason he got away with this is because the president pardoned him for his crimes. So I'm concerned about that. And the reality is, I don't personally give two shits what the Democrat liberal talking head mainstream propaganda media does. It bothers me not. But there are still a lot of sleeping sheep out there, and that's the problem. people will jump right on board with, oh, yeah, Flynn was guilty and the president let him get away with those crimes by pardoning him. So there's that part of it. But I know why he chose to do it, because if you think about it, this guy Sullivan is sitting on the case. He's supposed to make a decision on on throwing out the case or whatever he's going to do. And Obama gave him a signal a while back. Yeah, they are the enemy of America. Absolutely. The mainstream media. But Obama gave Sullivan an order to basically drag this thing out. And he gave it to him in a coded tweet or whatever they do. So Sullivan is just sitting on it. The case is over. Flynn had nothing that they could charge him for. He was completely innocent. He had been framed. It was proven. The prosecution stepped down and everything was over except for the Dick Sullivan. He was supposed to drag it out to keep Flynn silent, and they wanted to get their puppet put into office before they let Flynn go. And frankly, it would be, if they could keep him into office. Sullivan is a traitor. Good to see you, Mark. Welcome. But if they could keep the thing dragged out until they put their puppet in the White House, then they could move forward with the bogus crime and prosecute him to continue to keep him silent. So pardoning him now does allow that gag order to be lifted, which is oh my God, I can't imagine the panic right now in the liberal hive, where they understand that they are just about to be screwed. So the gag order is lifted. He can sing like a bird, but guess what else he can do? He can go back into the president's cabinet. He can assign him somewhere in the cabinet, and he can allow him perhaps get rid of Ray and put him in the FBI. Maybe get rid of what's that bitch's name that oversees the CIA that Brennan was so proud of. As soon as he came out and said he was proud of her, I knew who she was. She was part of the deep state. But anyway, the option is put General Flynn over the FBI, put him over the CIA, get one of those two deep state criminals out of there, maybe put him over the NSA, although the NSA, I believe, is pretty stable right now. The DOD seems to be locked down pretty well. Gina Haspel, thank you. Yeah, that witch. She's nothing but a deep state operative put in there to cover up and delay and drag out and resist, just like the other ones. Yeah, get Ray's spot. I agree totally. I mean, it's got to be a toss-up with the CIA or the FBI. But here, on the other hand, with that now is, I think, FBI, because the FBI was started with good intentions, and it has done a lot of good over time, and it can do good again, but it needs a leadership that will ship it back into shape. So, yeah, I think put Flynn in the FBI and the CIA. The CIA has been nefarious since its inception. There's been nothing good that has ever come out of the CIA. They are behind every major crime against this country. They're behind the drug running from earlier than Vietnam, but really got into it in Vietnam. They have been behind child trafficking. They've been behind the events that have happened in this country, and now we're seeing that they're behind the voting irregularities out of Germany. They were using a CIA headquarters to manipulate our elections and to steal our country. So I think fire Gina Haspel. If she oversaw the people out of Germany, or if she had any knowledge of it, then I think she needs to be arrested and prosecuted at the highest possible level. And then I think that they need to dissolve the CIA, and like JFK said himself, break them up into 1,000 little pieces and scatter them out into the universe. That's paraphrasing, but basically get rid of the CIA. They are a no good organization. So that basically settles it. We put General Flynn in the FBI, get rid of Ray, and tell Flynn, go through this place like a lawnmower and treat everything like grass. So get that shit fixed. So anyway, that's the front end of the General Flynn issue. I'm glad that he is finally free of this garbage. He can have a peaceful and enjoyable Thanksgiving with his family. He can get that weight off of his shoulders, and he can get ready to take on the system. And as they would say in my day, knock some skulls. So that part is great. But the second half of my concern with him being pardoned is it eliminates him from being able to sue the ever-loving dog pile out of all the members that were involved in his attempted prosecution. Why can't or don't someone call Ukraine politician Biden bribed to testify? Well, I'm going to get to something about that in just a minute. Lockhart Perspective, how are you doing, my dear? Good to see you. Anyway, so Flynn loses out on the ability to become dripping, disgustingly filthy rich, which I would bless him in every possible way if he could have done that. Because they tried to destroy him, and frankly, he had to sell a house. He's lost a lot of his retirement money. He's really taken it in the shorts, and it will be a little difficult to rebuild from here to where he was at his age. It's a little scary when your entire retirement is gone and your summer home is having to be sold and stuff like that. All the things that you went through 30 years in order to build up so that you could reach a retirement. So all of that is going to be difficult to reattain. But now here's the other part. I understand why the pardon was done. Like I said, because Sullivan was sitting on this, he had orders to delay it, to try to get their puppets in place so that they could either continue to prosecute him or at least keep his mouth shut until they got their puppets. But the other thing is, I think you guys might be familiar with one giant, majestic woman of enormous stature and patriotism, a little old name of Sidney Powell. She is working with us, we the people, in order to go after the Dominion software company and the criminals that used it. Now, she was also representing Flynn. And if you're a lawyer, I see you. If you're a lawyer, you have to be able to work on your cases. And while she's Flynn's lawyer, she has to take some time and continue to work with Flynn. Hey, preacher, good to see you. But now that woman has just been given a set of wings to fly. She can now focus 100% on Dominion. California Cricket, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Or should I say, orale, watch what's happening? Anyway, so she has now got free reign. She has no obligation now to continue moving forward with the Flynn case. So her entire focus comes down onto Dominion systems and the crimes that were committed. But here's a little tidbit some people don't know about our angel of mercy, Miss Powell. She just so happens to be a military attorney as well. She is licensed to try military tribunals. But I was thinking about that and I realized that's probably why she was able to take up the Flynn case. Because if you remember, the original team that was trying to railroad Flynn, his defense team, hello, Kelly, his defense team was trying to railroad him. But they also couldn't get a high enough clearance to deal with some of the things that General Flynn was involved in. So you notice that when Sidney Powell took up the case, there was no question about her security clearance. Well, if she's allowed to try tribunals, yeah, she is, JAG. If she is allowed and legally licensed to try tribunals, then she has a clearance. That woman has got her ear to the ground and she's capable of receiving information that many fledglings would not be able to be privy to because of that clearance. DPFX, how you doing? Like, in fact, she is possibly one of the only remaining candidates for an official legal tribunal held by the United States military. No, she's not the only one. That's what people are saying. Oh, she's the only one that could do tribunals. No, there are many lawyers that do have that level. Now, I think that she has a background that may be a little thicker than some people realize. I think her security clearance is very high because she was able to scoot right in there and take care of General Flynn. Even though he's got a Q clearance, she was able to go in there quietly and do her job without any question. So that means she's got a clearance too, very high. She's certainly not the only one, but she is certainly one of the final remaining candidates. Well, yeah, I mean, they probably have a team already in place at Gitmo that are prepared to start these tribunals. So all we got to do is start shoveling bodies down there to them so they can get busy. We must continue to pray for her safety and that of her family. Absolutely. I believe that all of these people have been assigned a detail. So I think that they are protected to some extent. I don't know to how much. Rebel Jack, how you doing? But anyway, so it's good news about Powell. Susan Q, hey, how are you? Morning. I was on D Live by myself. Well, I am so sorry to hear that. Oh, yeah, there she is. Yeah, there you are. I see you. You're right there. Yeah, with this monitor over here, I have to break my neck to see the chat, so sometimes I forget to look. But welcome. Yeah, nobody loves me on D Live. That's okay. I just play it on there in case somebody wants to get in. Who else other than our good friend Linwood or Giuliani that actually gives a damn? Well, actually, I can't think of her name. Young, pretty blonde that was standing next to Giuliani, little firecracker, absolute pit bull, gets up there and chews them up. Kay, how you doing? She's on the president's actual legal team. 12B Georgia, good to see you. Anyway, so if you really look into it, the president's legal team, the ones representing the president himself, part of the official GOP would be Giuliani and that other young lady that was with him, the little firecracker. I like her. She's just one of those, just want to slap somebody and make them like it. Sokolov is in his corner. Yes, Sokolov is also a president attorney, but he is he does other issues. He does criminal defense of the White House when investigations are started, which are continuous and constant. So Sokolov is the one that deals with that, and Giuliani and this other female, and I just can't think of her name. It's just killing me. But young blonde, kind of curly hair, just had she had her day in that briefing when she was firing at him. We're not taking questions yet. We're just giving information and telling the people that this is the opening statements and this isn't the presentation of our information. Johnny, how you doing? But anyway, so I can't think of her name. Can we just bring out the gallows for these traitors trash? Yes, we could, but it'll be so much more satisfying if we can get them nailed for their crimes and make them have to be exposed to the planet. That's going to be the key. So, anyway, that I guess that kind of finishes up what I wanted to talk about with General Flynn. Um, just waiting to get out of YouTube jail. I hope that's soon. Um, I am in a form of YouTube jail. My subscriber count has not changed since April of last year, or April of this year, rather. And so they have decided that my channel is as big as it's going to get, even though I get subscribers fairly regularly. I get notifications of them, but my number hasn't moved except for last month where they took 18 more away from me. I haven't had any add-ons to my subscriber count since April. So I know what YouTube jail is. Mine is a different form, but that's okay. I just keep plugging along. I've got these, you got my D Live, and I got Bitchute that I download videos to. Dropped her name. It's Jenna Ellis. There it is. Thank you. Silly as a wannabe. Okay, got it. She's the one. Yeah, she's a firecracker. I like that chick. I think I would have her on my legal team. Try losing 150 plus in 2 weeks. Now I know it's nuts, but unfortunately, it's Born a Racer. How you doing? It's going to get worse. It really is. When we get close to the fact that they will have to declare the president the winner, I mean, all of this is a show. The president already has this thing in the bag. It's already done. It'll go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will say we cannot make a decision that affects an election, which is true. So then they will push it to the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives will be representing each state with a single vote. And we have like 36 to 14 states, 36 states that have conservative legislation and 14 that have progressive legislation. So it's in the bag. And that's why I keep kind of saying on my videos for people to be careful, because while we're distracted with the presidency, there's some really slimy stuff going on with the down ballot races. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to keep people distracted by the presidency so that they can move their pieces around. And when the president is declared the winner, if they can win these 2 seats out of Atlanta and get out of Georgia, rather, and get the Senate under their control, then as soon as the president goes in, they'll file an impeachment on the 21st of January, and then they'll just remove him illegally that way. So that's what's going on. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. That's right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. The RRC is in the house, R-rated conservative. So anyway, we've got to watch what's going on there. And Georgia's frustrating as hell because it's an example of people not listening when you say to pay attention to the primaries. What they've got in Georgia now is they've got a couple of rhinos that they basically have to vote for, because if you give the Democrats power, then everything's over, and we basically just have to prepare for war. And if we don't get these two, that's what we're facing. But if we get these two from Georgia, they're both rhinos. They're both, I mean, they might jump on President Trump's coattails until they finish their slide into home plate and get into their seats in the Senate, but then they're done with it. It's not going to happen. Let's see. Let me read that a second there. DPFX. It's not going to happen. They are done as good as right now. It doesn't matter. The CCP hears what I'm saying. It's too late. They are done. Only thing left now is full onslaught of confrontation. Well, yeah, you can bet that that's going to come. SMF, how you doing? Good to see you. And Lisa, I believe, is here. Welcome, welcome. They can be slimy. Yeah, F them. Right. that's the thing. I mean, it's the fault of the people that say vote red or you're dead or vote blue no matter who. Those are the people that don't pay attention to the primaries. And I said for months before this election that if people really need to study the down ballot and their primaries, because they need to listen to the person and not look at the title, because even the Democrats were saying that they were going to run their members as Republicans until they got elected, and then they'd have them switch party. And I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting to see how many of them pulled that shit off. I was reading Sidney Powell's Georgia lawsuit when you came on. Then she stopped another in Michigan within the last hour. Yeah, well, she's been freed from concern with General Flynn, so now she can go full force. My elbow must be bruised, but who cares? I'm sorry to hear that. They won't be in the only rhinos in the Senate. No, but I'm telling you, folks, we've got to continue this. Um, we're going to have 2 years that we're going to have to deal with some of these people. Obviously, the ones in the Senate, we've got 6 years. We got to deal with them. I think 6 years in the Senate, which really sucks. But in 2 years, we can get rid of a lot of the rhinos that managed to slink into the House, and we can definitely get rid of more of the criminal Democrats, the ones that managed to survive the mass arrests. Because I'm telling you, there's going to be some mass arrests with anybody who was involved with this coup and this fraud of our government and our election process. They think they're going to get away with this, but I seriously doubt it. And here's the big reason. I believe that the president is finally just about as pissed off as you can get. And I just don't believe he's going to hold back and be all friendly and smiling and all that anymore. I think he's going to kick a damn table over and, start whipping some ass. And these people have gone after him relentlessly for 4 years. And once he is established as our president on paper and everything is done, inauguration comes, and the next day I think he's just going to knock the house down, because he'll have 4 years, and what are they going to do? Stop him from running for re-election? Anyway, Eagle Talon, how you doing? Space Force, Digital Universe Command, Digital Soldier. Welcome. All checked, safe from the home front. But anyway, so we've got some time, but we need to start getting some candidates that are true conservative constitutionalists. Damn a Republican, damn a Democrat. It's got to be a constitutional American that runs for office. And those are the candidates we need to start looking for. We were never meant to have a party system in this country. We are a republic, not a democracy. The party system creates a democracy within the House chambers, which makes them illegal. It's fishy that Slow and the HO are declared the winners, but Reds flipped a bunch of seats. Yeah, I know. You get all these Republicans that were elected, but then all of a sudden everybody that voted the Republicans in voted for Biden. Yeah, that makes just about no sense. Need to do away with the party group and term limits in government offices. Absolutely. Every government office. We need to get rid of these lifetime appointments. We need to get rid of bureaucracy. One of the prime examples of that right now is the firearms ATF. They're sitting here making law. I didn't elect anybody in the ATF. I'm pretty sure nobody else did. But now they can tell us that if we have a plastic extension piece on the back of our AR type rifles, that we are felons. I don't believe that law went through legislation. So as far as I'm concerned, they can kiss my ass. And if I wouldn't have lost all my weapons in a boating accident, which was devastating, I would worry about it probably, maybe a tiny little bit, and probably not. But anyway, I mean, if I had them, I might think about it. But I lost all mine, and it's devastating. It almost brings a tear to my eye. I don't want to talk about it anymore. But anyway, so As long as the American spirit lives, I burn like a slow spread of a disease. Yeah. Well, there are 79 million very pissed off patriots right now, and okay, you might be able to take a few million off of that. Some people would be like, whatever. All right, but you still have to think of that number. The That's an awful lot of pissed off patriots. Um, yeah, General Flynn, Digital Soldier. Good morning to you. Um, anyway, so the other thing I wanted to briefly talk about. I don't want to make this too long because everybody does need a bedtime. Yeah, RC, I am pretty pissed too. Mostly because of the games. Done playing around. How you doing? The whole thing is a charade. It's a show. And here's okay. If Uncle Sniffindiddle, thank you RRC for that, was truly our in the office of the president elect, and he did have a camel toe as a vice president, why has she not resigned her Senate seat? Think about it. They know they don't stand a chance. So she's going to keep her grip on that Senate seat so she can still try to be a spur in the ass of the presidency. So that's what that's about. They know they've lost this thing. It's a game. They're moving their pieces around so they can try to get power in the lower chambers so that they can, even if the president gets elected and gets sworn in, which he will, then they can go after him if they get those last two seats from Georgia. The ATF only cares about certain laws. Look up the case on LA where they let a prohibited person off for manufacturing weapons because his case would have destroyed the Second Amendment laws. Yeah, well, the reality is the ATF needs to stay the hell out of laws. They are not a legal entity in our government capable of writing law. There's a very, very well-defined structure on how our process of law is made, and I've already let you guys know in other videos that I'm not a fan of executive edicts because those are not law. You can give an executive order to coordinate the activities within your corporation. That's the extent of it. But an executive order is not supposed to spread beyond the actual inner chambers of the government, the inner workings. It's not supposed to affect the population. Executive orders are not law. They are edicts. And if we ever went back to constitutional law, they would all be void and null and void and be done with anyway. So I'm just not a fan of executive orders. Although, on that other hand, that 1776 executive order that requires teachers to teach children, which technically public schools are a government entity, so yes, that would work under the characteristic of an executive order for the inner structure of the government. But I think that one was beautiful. I adore that executive order teaching our real history, and I hope to God they teach about the Constitution prior to 1871, because the Constitution after 1871 can kiss my entire ass, because I am not a product. And according to the 1871 Constitution, the little change, we all became a product of a corporation, and we have zero rights under the Constitution. Our rights are not protected anymore by the Constitution. We fall under maritime law, and we are subjects of the Queen. So piss on it. Also, that orange fringe on a flag, if somebody feels like they really want to burn a flag, that's the one they need to burn. Because I'll be damned, that orange fringe means that we are surrounded and under the rule of the Queen. This is all stuff you look up. I'm not with it. You need to pass a simple awareness test to be able to vote. Yeah, but in that same context, it doesn't need to be difficult. Everything our government was designed for originally was supposed to be understood by the least, um, what do they call that? The the representatives were supposed to be able to be understood by the least educated person in their constituency. Um, Laws were not supposed to be 3,500 pages. They were supposed to be a single page that could be understood with simple details to the person that, to the least illiterate, to the least literate person in your base. Uh, we're not even supposed to have lawyers in the House or the Senate. That's in a constitutional amendment that has been swept away mysteriously and never mentioned again. But we're not supposed to have lawyers. Lawyers are supposed to be in the judicial branch. Ugh, I'm going to spit this stuff out if I can. Damn it. But lawyers are supposed to be in the judicial branch, and American common folk are supposed to take up the chambers and the House and the Senate. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be Bob's Bakery. Old Bob from Bob's Bakery is a senator, and the Miss Jean's meat shop. These are the American people that are supposed to be representing us, the people of us, not polished politicians that have degrees in political science. We're not supposed to create a politician to run our government activities. We are supposed to be running it as American people. And they forget sometimes that they are actually working for us. So they also forget they're supposed to fear the people. They forgot that a long time ago. And at some point, the Americans are going to have to rise up and let them know that they need to fear us again. Because if the government fears the people, we have liberty. If the people fear the government, we have tyranny. And right now, I see tyranny because the government thinks that we fear them. So I don't. Passing the bar means passing the British Accreditation Registry. Accredited, yes, but yeah, it's the British Accreditation Registry, and it is straight up European, and they're not actually lawyers, like barristers, I believe is what they're called, which is another British term. So it's the whole thing is just dripping with insanity. And technically, in 1992, we were supposed to be relieved of our debt to the Queen because we paid off our bankruptcy from the Civil War at that time. And because I guess everybody was happy and comfortable with it, they decided to let it just continue. That's okay. We'll just stay under the rule of the Queen since we all like it so well so far. So a lot going on. But anyway, so let me get on to the next subject here that I wanted to talk about, because I think there's going to be some confusion ahead, and I want to try to get ahead of that. The confusion is, Zombie 5, how you doing? Everyday normal people. Yes, that's what we need in our government. Everyday normal people. I would only qualify because I'm only half normal. But the second subject I want to talk about is this thing called Build Back Better. The stupid little motto of Uncle Sniffendiddle is Build Back Better. And that is actually a motto that's used by world leaders all around the world right now, because it's part of the Agenda 21 and it's part of the Great Reset. So we are at war right now. So far, it's not kinetic. I hope to God it stays that way. I just fear that it may not. But the war consists of Make America Great Again and the Great Reset. So you got the Great Awakening, which is what's going on, and the Great Reset. And they're warring factions right now. And the problem is, equals an NWO, Build Back Better, New World Order, Agenda 21. With the Build Back Better and Forward Together and all these stupid little mottos they do that have all of this pleasantry sound to them while they're saying, let's build back better. They're going, thinking of all the ways that they are going to kill you. And if you don't believe me, you can say, I don't believe you unless it's carved in stone. Well, I refer you to the Georgia Guidestones, like always. Very first statement on that: bring the population of the earth to 500 million to maintain harmony with nature. That is written in stone. So this Build Back Better still has that plan to take people out. And what you need to listen for are the little keywords. I want to bring up something. It goes back to the Act of 1871. Yeah. When they talk about Build Back Better, they're saying, we're going to relieve your debt. You will be debt free. That's on the surface. Then the caveat, the little underneath it. Yes, we're going to relieve your debt, but we're also going to take your worldly possessions. You will own nothing. You will be given back what you need to survive and nothing more, and you will be happy. So if you have a nice car, you won't. The example is right before Lisa got sick, we bought the Jeep Gladiator. We traded our car, traded our bike, and got our Jeep Gladiator. And it's a great truck. It's our only vehicle. So it is a necessity when you have to live out as far as I do. But if the government gets their Build Back Better, where they want to relieve us of our debt and take all our worldly possessions, they would take something like that because they'd say, oh, you don't need a Jeep Gladiator. We have a beautiful 1983 Chevy Chevette. It only has 300,000 miles on it, but it's all you need. So you can use that to get back and forth to work or to town or whatever you're going to do. So everything that has their chocolate coating on top has something nefarious underneath it. So anything they tell you on the surface, you got to dig under it to see what the hell they really mean. And what they're going to do is what they always do. They're going to build theirs up to make you think that it's the king ding-a-ling and it's the best thing since peanut butter on white bread, which sounds a little racist. But anyway, they're going to tell you all this crap until they get you hooked, and then they're going to destroy you. But on the other side, we have a thing called Nacera. The Nacera or Jessera that is promising some of the same things as the Build Back Better. The only difference is, I'll use the best example I can think of right now. In Nacera, one of the guarantees is that you will be relieved of debt because of all the criminality that was involved in the banking system for over 100 years. So debt relief is promised in Nacera, but the difference is it's debt relief and you get to keep what you have. In Build Back Better, it's debt relief and we're taking everything from you. So what they'll do is say, oh, well, our program's better because Nacera isn't going to help the environment. They'll come up with a reason to explain why we should be afraid of Nacera. But second easy example, in Nacera, they want to improve the life of our elderly. They want to make our elderly more comfortable. They want to make them more financially stable. They want to make their medications cheaper. They want our elderly to be respected at the highest level and to flourish in their silver years. Why take a vax for 99.97% survivability rate? Yeah, no shit. No, stay away from pricks. All right, so they'll be eating all the bacon and they'll be feeding us bugs and Soylent Green products. Not me. But anyway, so Nacera wants to bless our elderly. That's the easiest way to say it. Build Back Better wants to kill our elderly. Exhibit A, Put sick people into nursing homes to try to eradicate those filthy elderly people that put such a burden on their wallets. So, two prime examples of the comparison and contrast from NESARA to Build Back Better. And, there are many, many more, but every time they give you some phrase of, the world will be better together, or moving forward as one, all these stupid things they use, they all sound so bubbly until you look into them, and most people don't look into them. That's the frightening thing. We have just people in cruise control going through their lives with no ability to look into anything, and that's what allows these criminals to move so quickly to get what they want done. But the depopulation is one of their primary agendas, and I would be very concerned about taking any kind of vaccine, even if it's part of the Trump administration, because he's not in control of everything. There are many people that still have very evil things on their mind that are working in the background behind him. Why wasn't Como been charged for negligence in the deaths? Well, apparently, once you are an elected official, you are completely immune from prosecution for any crime. But we'll see if that changes here soon or not. I hope it does, because I think the Patriots are about sick and tired of it, and they are liable to do something to change it themselves. We aren't one. We will stand in judgment as individuals. That's true. Very true. But anyway, really, this is what I wanted to get out tonight, was to be concerned about this together, moving forward together, and all these Build Back Better and all this bullshit, and realize that all they're doing is they are in direct conflict. We are military campaign against military campaign. We are in the battles, and this battle right now is the Great Awakening versus the Great Reset, and it's going to be tit for tat for a while, because each one has a example of something from the other. Using NESARA as the example, NESARA has one thing, Build Back Better has another thing. They look awfully similar. They're totally different. So those are the kind of battles that are going on right now. And don't believe for a second that it isn't a form of war. It's an information war, and it's a battle. It's a campaign on the battlefield, with the warring factions being we the people and the globalists. And we the people doesn't necessarily stick to the borders of the United States. It's we the people of the globe, and we the people need to stop these evil governments before they do get too big a foothold. And I'm hoping and praying with everything I have that this Dominion system, exposing the illegalities involved with our elections, I hope that Powell gets this stuff very well exposed, and I hope the entire world rises up against their illegal governments, because I think it will prove that there are many countries with sitting leadership that use these systems to cheat their population, and I hope they make it hurt. The snake symbolism around the medical and pharmaceutical industries is interesting, so I thought, at least, yeah, it's my father was a physician and didn't care too much for that symbol, because it's not a friendly symbol. It's part of the Illuminati, and my dad had to wear it on his collar in the Navy, but he didn't like it because he knew what it meant. But yeah, their symbolism will be their downfall, because once they're fully exposed, people will see what has been put right in front of their face. Because many of you know that the Illuminati is allowed to do whatever they want to humanity as long as they tell them ahead of time. So they're always putting these hints out in movies and stuff like that, but people ignore it. They don't pay attention. So as long as the Illuminati told them, doesn't matter if they pay attention or not, they told them, but then they're allowed to do whatever they want to humanity. It's disgusting. President Trump has simply given the power back to the people. It is the governors who are, in effect, the dictators, along with Hollywood, big tech, and centralized fake news media owned and operated from UNICEF. Yeah, you're right. But it's up to us to take the power back. And there's already been a pretty good protest out in front of CNN in Atlanta to basically let people know how much they suck. You need to check out Pinball Preparedness. He's wanting channels like yours to gather on YouTube advice, some plans and subs help get shall not comply going now without now video is just that. Go check it out. All right. It is called Pinball Preparedness. All right. When I get off of here, I'll pull it up and take a look. But yeah, I mean, there is no. I am not complicit. I will not comply. I understand the law. I understand the Constitution. I know where my rights are. So, I mean, here's the other thing: these cops that are enforcing this tyranny, their days are numbered too, and not in a violent way. So don't freak out when I say their days are numbered. They will be removed from their positions when we reset and go under constitutional law, because that's coming. That's the final part of this era, that we return to the law under the Constitution. And when that happens, these cops that go against people's rights under color of law, using their position to deprive somebody of their rights, they will be losing their jobs. They will be bagging groceries at your local grocery store after that. So I hope the police that are enforcing the tyranny understand this. And also, I'm going to leave this part. I'm going to leave it at this because we're almost in almost an hour. Today is Thanksgiving, and I want you guys to enjoy it with as many people as you want. And you need to understand your rights. If the police have been called by your sniveling, whining ass neighbors that want to turn you in because it makes them feel like they're good with society, then do not answer your door. Just carry on as if there is nothing going on outside. They cannot crash into your house. I mean, they may think they can, and there may be a couple of incidences where they do it, but you have them by their reproductive organs if they do it. So don't answer the door. Just don't acknowledge that the door has been knocked on if the police come. You do not have to open your door to them. You do not have to talk to them. If they knock on the door and they yell, "Police, search warrant," you're going to have to open your door. But you need to have cameras going if this happens. You need to be recording everything. You need to take notes. You need to get names and badge numbers. And you need to be prepared for the long haul through court. So don't answer the door. Enjoy your family. Do what you do as Americans. Do not go into today with panic and fear. Just don't worry about these people. Flat Earth Preacher, how you doing? She has now proclaimed himself the helmsman just now, not since his corrupt counterpart years ago, Mao, Satan. Yeah, Mao Satan. Yeah. China's day is our number 2. The people of this world are not going to continue to be oppressed and restricted. It's just not going to continue. The fear of man will go away, and the rising of the people will happen soon. Just yell, "We're BLM. This is a protest." Well, you could do that, but you can also flat out ignore them. I mean, just just carry on in your lives. Do not fear these people, and we'll get through this. It will happen. It's either going to happen friendly, like through the legal system, or not so friendly, like. But we're going to get through it. Just remember, God wins always. We are the good. We are the human loving, peace appreciating patriots of the world. People of the world want peace. Governments tell the people in their countries who they're supposed to hate. And I've been to many countries around the world. People are beautiful. They're awesome. They're incredible. And they don't hate each other. They don't hate me because I'm an American. They love me because I'm a human. So it's governments that spoil everything, not the people. Yeah, no vaxes. Say no to pricks. All right, so I am going to finish it up with that. It's 1:30. I appreciate you late night freaks hanging out with me all night. I think we all need to go to bed so we can be ready for some turkey tomorrow. But I hope I've been able to give you guys a little bit of something to think about. My opinion on how things are and the way I see it with General Flynn, and also with this Build Back Better thing. Just be cautious of the unicorns and glitter bombs being blown up your ass. It's not what they say it is. But anyway, with that being said, please tell your friends about me. Hit the thumbs up before you head out the door. My channel is absolutely stationary when it comes to subscribers. They took 18 from me last week, but since before that, I've been at 1,900 subscribers since April. So I know people are subscribing to my channel, but they're not giving it to me. So please help me by just putting this out on other options, because I don't care about being a massive channel with all the giant subscribers, but it's sort of a double-edged sword because I want to get the message out to people. I can't do that if I don't have subscribers that get my information. So you can help me with that. Help tell your friends about me. Let them subscribe to my channel. Come hang out. Listen to what I have to say. And we'll make it through the other side of this thing. It's just going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of effort. But all right. So enough of my rant and rambling. Hugs back at you, silly as I want to be. Yeah, I appreciate all of you guys very much. Dangerous Freedom, how you doing? Thank you for the cards. Lisa loves getting those cards. It just really brightens her up. And more than you know, I'm so grateful. Impossible to describe how eternally grateful I am for you guys going through this fight with the cancer with us. You guys are amazing. It's just best people in the world. But anyway, happy Turkey Day. Happy Thanksgiving. God bless you guys. And please stay in the fight.